Hello. Little bit early. Excuse me. Right on target. Hey, Joycey. How are you, sweetheart? I'm putting this down just a little. Y'all don't need to see the mess on my desk. It's a little bit better. There. About as good as it's going to get. I feel like I've been away forever. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm having to completely reset my studio for filming because I had it over there in the oil spot. And then I've worked the last 2 days on being quiet. Hey, Sharon. Still taking deep breaths, and it would have been easy to stay gone again today, but I did it. Couldn't let y'all go too long without me. You'd forget all about me. I don't want that to happen either. I still don't have all my lights moved back over here, but that's pretty good. I'm seeing a little bit of a shadow, a whole lot of shadow. That's coming from over here. Oh, well, we'll work through it. For anyone coming in on the restream or the replay, this is done with a live audience, and we chit-chat quite a bit in the middle, or in the beginning. So feel free to fast forward, and you can skip around to your heart's delight. So how about that? It's inspiring to have a live audience when an artist is playing or working, excuse me. For the last, 3 weeks, I guess, I've been doing oil videos, a working studio video on a commission I had. So that's not for everybody, but oil painters and people who like to be put to sleep. So here we are. So let's see. I finished the portrait on Friday night, praying that it would be dry enough the next day to gift it at the shower. And it was, because I pulled a few tricks out of my bag and got home about, 4:30. So I was tired and called Linda Wessel on the way home, and I said, hey, I'm feeling great. You want to come over tomorrow? And she said, yeah. And then by the time I got home, I knew I had to clean up the studio. I'm not going to melt wax today. Hey, Wendy. So I got home, and I knew that if I invited her over, I would have to fix a path through the studio. And since I had just done the Boy in the Moon journal, that was a gift, and then went right from that into the oil painting journal, I hadn't put anything away. And it gotten to the point that I couldn't walk through my own studio, let alone Linda and I both in here. So 3 hours later, I was too tired to have company the next day, but I knew that on the front end. That's why I invited her first. And we sat here yesterday afternoon or Sunday afternoon and laughed and talked, and we didn't get one bit of art done. So if we had planned a little bit more, we could have streamed, but we didn't plan. So there you have it. We wore our pillows out. Oh yeah, taking naps. I think I did put you to sleep a couple times, Joycey, but that is not really all that hard, is it? So my studio is more organized than it has been in a long, long time. And I really like it. Well, I mean, it's not perfect, but at least you can walk through it without knocking stuff over. And Linda said, I'll come on my vacation. I said, boy, that's a hell of a vacation. And I said, because she likes to organize. And I said, hey, that's great, but I got to tell you that I probably won't help. She said, oh, yes, you will. Because, you know, when you're reorganizing your own stuff, you just want to sit down and look at it and then leave the room, close the door. But if you have somebody here volunteered to do, I just need HGTV. That's what I need, is just to leave and come back and have a glorious space with everything organized and labeled. And, you know, if everything has a particular spot and you don't have to move more than one or two things to get to anything, then it's workable. When you got to move 3 or 4 things, I mean, it took me 30 minutes to get my little studio set up over here from the oil stuff. Okay, we're going to work on these later. I started these Sunday. I had so much fun with Lynn Sunday afternoon that I stayed in the studio for a couple hours. And then I worked on them again. So let's get going. What time is it? Yeah, it's 10 till. It's early. We can chit-chat some more. Okay, some of y'all chit. You chit, I'll chat. Readjusting everything. Okay, good enough. You see too much. Oh, I got it. Good. It didn't get lost. I found this today while I was getting ready. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I remember the Neos, trust me, and I know right where they are now. They're in with the water-soluble oil pastels, which makes no sense unless you just think about them both being water-soluble. Is this a beauty or what? This is a silver atelier blending quill. Isn't that a beauty? It almost looks like synthetic because it's shiny in spots. Lynn left this, so maybe she gifted it to me. She'll be in here in a minute. So when she gets off work and comes in here, y'all have to give her some grief. Still, forgive me, but that's better. We're not square over it, but that's better. Okay. Yes, you can lick it. Here, let me brush it off for you. I'll brush off my camera. It's a good one for that. And she did bring me a one of those Amazon silicone brushes. I played with one at Rosemary's the other day. It's pretty cool for, you know, what you get. You know, windy they are, and I just haven't ever gotten I haven't fallen in love with them. Is this your tickle spot, Joycey? I'm watching for the focus. It's doing pretty good with that today. We don't have any storms today. Apparently a tornado went over our house the other night and we slept through it. Didn't hear their syringes or anything, so I don't know if it was right on top of us, but it knocked trees down everywhere. Rogers, which is just, 10 miles away, lost trees all the way from one end to the other. So anyway, I'm going to leave this sitting right here. So, sitting right here for a while so that Lynn can see it. We're going to look at, I'm looking at this myself, some encaustic. I cracked up on Sunday because while we were talking, I saw this and we were talking about encaustic, and I said, oh, well, I saw this when I was cleaning up last night. Let me show you. So I pulled it out and I said, now take that cotton t-shirt right there beside you and buff it. And she said, really? Buff it? And I said, yeah, just buff it, buff it. And she sat here for an hour and just buffed and polished away. Look at the gleam she got. Isn't that cool? That, my friends, is the beauty of encaustic. I don't have any Nuvo drops. I sure don't. I don't even know what they're close to. Are they like Stickles? I don't have any of those either. And this smells, like beeswax. Oh, I was lifting it up to smell it and looked up and it was gone. That right there is center. Get a drink of water. We talked about brushes and mixed media and YouTube and all kinds of stuff. Hi, Nancy. Did anybody miss me last week at all? I mean, I didn't stream, and I bet not a one of you even noticed I was gone. It was probably, thank God in Greyhound she's gone. Oh, okay, liquid enamels, I'm feeling the urge to do a little more fine art, which is great since I just started the America book, but I don't have enough time to work on everything that I like. And in the beginning, when I started as a newbie and I didn't know which end of a brush to use, I'd work until I got to a certain point. Like I'd start a watercolor painting and get to about 20%. And then I had to go back to, I'm sorry, Joycey, I messed up your Thursday. I could have let you know, huh? Anyway, greener and goose shit, it's my stream. I can say what I want to. Sorry, Joycey. But I would work to about 20% on my own. And then I would have to go back to a social class that I was teaching or taking. And she would get me stuck, and then I'd go home and work another 15% and get stuck. And I realized a whole lot longer later that I was dependent on her to learn what to do next, to learn how to paint. And as long as I was dependent on somebody who once a week would take my work and get me over a bad spot or fix it for me, I was addicted to her class rather than my learning. So I started with watercolor, and I stayed with watercolor until I could get up to about maybe 40% of completion as an art piece. And then I would stop. So I was making progress, but then I got into soft pastel. Oh my goodness. Soft pastel is a dream painting medium. And so I got into that. And the next thing you know, I'm all up in the Pastel Society and entering competitions and blah, 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 blah. And then after about 4 years of that, I picked up oil. Oh my God, here we go again. A whole nother love affair. So I worked with oil for a long time, several years. And I would occasionally do a soft pastel. Some of my mentors or friends would say, just pick one and stick with it. And I said, how can you do that? I saw it, try to focus. How can you start with one medium and know that's the one you want to stay with forever? And then it was said that pick portrait, landscape, still life. What's the other ones? Pick one of those and focus on it. And then go to abstract, expressionist, realism. I don't know. That's another. And pick one of those. So there's 3 categories. Pick one from here, one from here, one from here, and focus on that. Well, I'm a rebel, so I didn't. I focused on all of them. I haven't done any landscapes for you guys because that's they're not my first love, and I don't know why. And it could just be because I haven't. To really be a good landscape painter, you need to paint outside, and you need to paint trees in the real light. And of course, y'all know me. I don't like to sweat. I don't like bugs, so that's probably why. I regress. Then after the oil, a couple of years later, I was curious about encaustic, like Lena is now. That's why I started doing this today. Curious about encaustic, but I was afraid of it. And the reason I was afraid of it, well, I was afraid of oil too, because I didn't really know if I wanted to learn all the chemistry involved. Well, come to find out, the chemistry is easy. You know, it's not like you've got to be a color chemist or anything. And it was the same with encaustic, and I was surprised how easy it was when I got started. So anyway, that's what this is. I brought it out to show Linda. And this is one of the projects from my school in the encaustic section. And this is a sampler that showcases some of the techniques that you can do with encaustic. I thought y'all might like to see it. This is thread. This is melting stripes a little too much. You see how it liquefies the wax. This is collage with a little bit of gold in here. And this is transfer, image transfer from a magazine. So what you see here is the ink that was on the magazine page. And these are all things that we all play with all the time. So it's really not that big a deal. And there are just a couple of rules with encaustic. One is you don't heat it more than 200 degrees. If you know what you're doing, you can preheat to 225, and that's, you know, with caution. 250, it'll start smoking, and that's when it gets dangerous. And the other misconception is that it's toxic, and that's why it's because of smoking. But if you don't, I mean, you use thermostats and everything, you're not in any danger. The beeswax itself is totally non-toxic. And the Damar resin is totally non-toxic. It's even in some of our foods. It's just a tree resin. So there's nothing chemical or, I guess, chemical involved in it if you pay attention to the same types of caution that we take with the other things like oil painting. And when everybody was saying, oh, painting's toxic, I'm allergic to the medium, I'm more allergic to the turpentine. No, it's not. There are ways to paint without that. So anyway, that's it. Oh, this one is called accretion. It's a cool technique. And I could put another color on top of it to accent it. But you know that stretchy medical tape that they put on your arm when you give blood, or you know, they take it for a test? I just kind of crinkled that and put it here. And then I would take the hot wax and just brush it. And I go back to hot wax and brush it again one direction. And the little lumpies that I made in the tape formed this pattern. So anyway, I thought y'all might like to see that. So I'm also going to show you I love watercolors too, but I go back, I rotate. So I may be rotating back into encaustic next Thursday, maybe. I mean, I'm looking at it right there. My griddle's right here. My other griddle's right there. All I have to do is move a few things and I can be over there. But I rotate. I haven't done any encaustic since that portrait that I did a year and a half ago. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you some encaustic so you'll know a little bit more about what it is and what it does, just in case you want to play with it. Okay, first of all, encaustic medium is a mixture of beeswax. I can't show that, Sharon. It would, one of them's just a pancake griddle. I mean, you know, it's no magic there. Lost my train of thought. Oh, beeswax and Damar varnish. And you can buy it already mixed, and it can come, my favorite is in a pellet. You can buy it in a block, you can buy it in all sorts of ways. But I like the little bitty pellets, and they're made by Encaustic Show. Let me type that in for you. And I think I misspelled it. No, I didn't type it wrong. N-C-A-U. I think that's right. It may have another K in there. Encaustic Show and R and F Encaustic. Those are the two main manufacturers. Encaustic has only been popular again since the 1940s and 50s. And the people that experimented with it then did not pay any attention to safety concerns, but you know, they live for a long life. So, okay, so it's 8 parts beeswax to 1 part Damar resin. And I buy it already done, but I also make my own if I'm working on something big. So I'm just going to show you a few things. Well, there's also an S missing after Enca. There should be another S. Okay, here's my last project. It was a portrait commission. And this rough look is one of the hallmarks of encaustic. You can get it really, really smooth, but kind of chunky it's also kind of a style. So there's the that one. I just wanted to show you that was my last one. And then let's see, I'm going to show you my screen. You see, I'm just easing back into this. Here are some of my first encaustics, and I was self-taught with it because 3 years ago there wasn't anybody local messing with it. That's just a plain old wood panel. It's called a Luan panel. You buy it at the Home Depot and stuff, and they'll cut it up into pieces for you. Just a real thin, almost like a paneling sort of thing. You can just encaustic right on top of that, and it soaks it up. Put it on, you melt it, you scrape it off. You put it on, you melt it, you scrape it off. It's really, really fun. This is a little bit more of a mixed media approach. I've got you know, whatever that white sandy stuff is, it's a mixed media thing. I don't know what you call it. And a little pearl. Where are you going? Don't you dare. Oh, I didn't want to go that big. Okay. We just want to go up here. And this is on a tumbled marble tile, a 4-inch square. And those are cheap at Home Depot and not Hobby Lobby, Lowe's. They're used for backsplashes in kitchens. They're about 4 inches square. And they take encaustic really well, and then just a pearl embedded in. So you can see that the mixed media is definitely a part of encaustic. Again, this is on a tile. And this one is on a tile, and there's an advanced technique where you brush it with shellac and then set the shellac on fire. So that's what all these little gold lines and squigglies are. Immense amounts of fun. And then I took a piece of deli paper, and I thought, oh, that's fun. So I took a piece of deli paper and I did a pastel face on it. And oh, no eat to it, Sharon. It's not any big deal. I took a piece of deli paper and painted a face on it in soft pastel. I prepared an encaustic board with, you know, plain medium, and then I laid that over on top of it and transferred it like I would a magazine, which is what we do in mixed media. And she had some issues, but it turned out pretty good for an experiment. So that's what I got when I did the image transfer from the pastel. And then put encaustic over the top of it. And then I had so much fun with that that I took the piece of deli paper and used it. So I had a mirror reflection of her. Come on. Somebody told me she looked real scary. And I said, you would too if you'd gone through what she'd gone through. Come on. And then I added some gold leaf. But, ooh, she looks cross-eyed in that picture. No, maybe not. So anyway, same techniques that we use. We're just using a different medium. Then this one's fun. This one's done on black canvases, those little tiny gallery wrap canvases that are 2 inches by 4 inches. And just mixed media on that too. Come on. I guess it's not going to go any bigger. And, oh, that's it. That's one of them right here. Photograph separate. See the plastic canvas that you would use on jelly plate? That's all that is. You press it into the warm wax, and then you put another color in it, and it holds the pattern. And okay. Here's the other one, a little bead thing that you use making bracelets. Plastic canvas again. And this is an image transfer of some music. And I image transferred it on a brown kind of color, like khaki color, and then deliberately grunged it to make it look like it was kind of peeling off in places. And then I took a real thin application of oil paint and painted the rose. And oil and encaustic don't mix that well, so you have to kind of know what you're doing. And here's the white one. That's all. This is another mixed media, just abstracting. If y'all know me well, you know that I'm not really comfortable with just making backgrounds, but it's fun every once in a while. This one is really cool. I like it. This one is a shellac. You can see the amber colors through there. That's from shellac. And here is my crazy idea. I did a bowling ball size American flag in encaustic. Ta-da! I had the best time on that. There's something very cathartic about taking a potter's tool or an X-Acto blade and scraping to make your surface smooth, and you scrape a little bit more and you smooth it and heat it. It's very, very enjoyable. And this one is also a favorite. I don't remember what I did on her. She's painted with flesh colored encaustic. That's what she is. There's a little bit of pan pastel in her scarf, and these beads are 3-dimensional. So they're made and then just stuck on. I mean, you know, they're melted and the wax adheres. Here's one where I was playing with collage like a quilt. And then that is an image transfer of a painting I did. And he is gorgeous. He's oil paint. He's tinted encaustic color, painted like oil painting. I think that's it on the encaustic, maybe. Let's see. That's all I have in this gallery anyway. You can get to this through my Axully art website. I should have put the link up there before I did that. I never can remember it. And I'm so far behind on all of this stuff. I am going to add all of my pieces that I have laying around here. Okay. You may have to look for my name, Vicki Ross, when you get there, but that's to the gallery. Okay, so move this out of the way. Let's see. Who did I miss? I don't guess I missed anybody. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. I said something popped off last week that it's amazing what you find when you clean your studio. That I had done drawing like, oops, I need to move back. Never mind. Move back, move back. Okay, sorry about that. That I had done a lot of drawing and shading like Kathy Arbor is teaching, but that I had no clue where my book was. You better get in focus. Well, it's amazing things you find when you're cleaning or organizing. So this is my book, and this is a leather cover. Isn't that cool? It's a Land Rover book, and it's got like sketching paper in it. This has made several European trips with me. You can see here how it's kind of bunged up. And I think this was a Lee Hammond book. Just practicing, you know, doing her exercises. And I looked at this the other day, and I thought, I know I did not paint those that dark. What I did do was come in and spray them with fixative, and that always kind of darkens things. But there are some white areas, but not near enough. Look how crooked her teeth are in comparison to the nose. And ears. And more ears. And then eyes. And then a full face. Pumpkins. Here we get into really turning dark on me. And I know that I sprayed fixative because I tried to get my eraser out and it didn't even phase it. And that may have come from drawing on the right side of the brain, Betty Edwards, because that's one of her exercises. Is you hold this acetate grid that comes in one of her books. It's a workbook. It's like a black mat, and it's got acetate, and the acetate has grid lines like Kathy was showing. And so you hold that over your hand, or this hand, and then you draw what's in each square from life. So that's a really good exercise. And just more stuff. See, I don't have near enough whites on that. I know it. It's not a big deal. And then I was a realtor then, so drew a picture of a house across the street. Drew the inside of my living room from life. So it's really fun. Stick to it. And like I've said all along, I don't remember whose room that is, but I've never had anything like that. So it looks like my windows, though. Who knows? Drawing for drawing is a medium of its own. It's a medium just like oil, just like encaustic, soft pastel, mixed media. And so you draw for the drawing. The final product is a drawing. That's the medium. And that's what y'all are studying with Kathy. Now, to draw to paint is totally different. If y'all watched any of my portrait last week, you saw that basically you just start with shapes and lines and you take off from there. Because this kind of a drawing is wasted when you're going to cover the whole thing with paint. And I don't know who this is, but it's not really good. But just practice. That's got a little more white in it, but still an awful lot of dark. Trying to practice drawing, we were in Rockville, Texas, way down on the Gulf. Trying to practice while I was there, and I'm not that good at that. And I had a friend who had a really, really good manga book, and he did an excellent drawing tutorial in it. Let me see what that is. I have no idea. Or where it is. That looks kind of like Italy, but okay, that's all it's in here. Hey, Jilly. And I used to do stuff like that sitting in front of the TV, and for some reason I haven't been. All right. Don't forget now, when Lynn comes in, tell her how nice it was of her to gift me this brush. Time to take a little breather here. So Kathy Berg and I are going to do some encaustic demos and probably focus on how they are used with mixed media. I took a workshop from Rosemary Morris last month. I take her workshops even though I already know how to do stuff just because it's fun. Shannon's there, and you know, there's a group of us that are there. And there's always something that I learn, even, you know, I don't ever know it all. And Rosemary had a real cool thing in the kit. She used a candle warmer, one of those that you put the scent in and then you melt it in this little, it's like a coffee cup warmer, but I don't think those have a temperature gauge. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, you have to make sure it doesn't go over 200 degrees. And this one's a little bit bigger. It's about like that size. And then we just used a real shallow metal pan that she got at Dollar Tree. And she put this metal tin on there, and that's where she put her medium. And that was great for small jobs. And it's also big enough, I think you could put a pet food can on there, like Mighty Dog or cat food. Even though those cans have ridges on the bottom, they still get hot enough to melt. I mean, they still transmit enough heat. So for a crafter, that is an excellent idea. Timmy Holtz used to have a melt art thing. If you've got one of those from the old days, drag it out. It's V-shaped. The pan is a V shape, and it has two little handles on either side and metal in the middle, and it's got a temperature gauge at the top. I use that an awful lot for just having clear encaustic in if I'm working small. And they don't make those anymore, so you may have one hidden in your stash somewhere. Okay. So like I said, Linda left Sunday, and I just didn't feel like getting out of the studio because it was nice and neat. And I thought, I think I'll just work a little bit. I mean, you know, with umbrellas up and all this stuff, it's a little disconcerting. So I've been working, as you know, with Robin McClendon on her GeliDex cards. It's wonderful practice for making backgrounds and doing collage work. These are some that I've did with y'all, I think. Look at that. That's what you get from an encrusted jelly plate. Isn't that cool? So the goal, oh, that's something. What was I doing? That's charcoal. Yeah. That needs to be covered. So kind of the goal is kind of like mixed media, but Robin style, where every layer is transparent. So you do a little paint, you do a little collage, you put a jelly print on it, you stencil, you stamp. And again, that's almost kind of like Shannon Green's Journaling by Fives. See, this one's nice. And the purpose of this particular GeliDex, Rolodex project is that if you were a writer, you could write a book or write a, you know, something long and handwrite or typewriter, you know, write a line on each of the cards so that when you flip through them, it would tell a story. So that's the ultimate goal. Now, whether I do that or not, you know, remains to be seen. So anyway, those are some that I've finished or have done with y'all. I've got about 30 in there, I think. Those were over here. So anyway, this is what I started. Put that where she can see it. On Sunday. Now I started with jelly prints. So I would get a jelly print out and I used a big mistake. I used Terry Batista's Collage Page, and it's way too wet. It's supposed to be meant for napkins and papers and stuff, but it was way too wet, and it doesn't seem to hold when this thing gets wet again. So the best thing to use is Eileen's tacky glue. You can't do a whole page with an Uhu stick and still have time to put your cards on. So anyway, you've got your jelly plate. It's upside down. You take your blank cards and you put them whichever side you want to print. Put that upside down on that. And then just like you were doing a jelly plate, you put something on top of it and rub them to get them in good contact. And then you pick it up when it's dry. Then you cut them with scissors. And that's a way to do a lot of them at once. Mine are all mixed up now, but you can kind of see the ones that go together. So it's just kind of a quickie way of doing something that, let's see, here's another print. It's also a real good way to use up those prints. This is another one. So I did that on one side, and then on the next side, I turned them over and I put, oh, I know, I put some rose gold jelly printing through stencils. And I had 3 stencils, I think, picked out. And I used the same stencil on all of them. So I put down the stencil and I did the acrylic paint. Then I came back with 2 colors of Distress Oxides and put those through stencil. And then I sprayed them to get some of the oxide. I'm still not convinced what the oxide is, but, you know, I gave it the old college try. And I changed colors of the oxide, you know, every 10 or so pages. So this has got ground pistachio and this navy blue. I don't know, maybe denim, I don't know. And this one is the same. So I changed every once in a while. And another reason I did that was because I haven't really done that with the Distress Oxides. And I know that there are colors in there that look awful on the cover that might really be something, like the cracked pistachio. That's a real pretty color. It's not garish and bright at all. So I did that, and I think I did that 2 times. I think I changed stencils. No, I changed stencils about halfway through, and I used the same stencils on the next set. And then the last thing I did yesterday, was put some washi tape. And these are the washi tapes that have the clear or the see-through background. Hey, Beth. And you can see what you've done underneath the washi. So here's one that's got almost a clear background. I got a lot of mine from AliExpress. So there's lots and lots of room to do more transparent layers, and then you'll see what's underneath them. Uh-oh, something went wrong. Tap. If I go black on y'all, stick with it. Just sit where you are, because StreamYard will pick right back up on the same stream. And I'm still live on StreamYard. There's no problem. So this is with YouTube, and I'm going to reboot it, and it came back. Just close the window and then open back up. So anyway, you'll be able to see things that are under this. I love Alphonse Mucha, and I got several 4-inch washies, which are really too big for, who's the woman? Oh, here. This is the right side. So, you know, you don't really have to see what it is. You can just cut it and wrap it over to the other side. But I got those at AliExpress. Hey, Beth. Did I say hi, Beth? Hi, Beth. Hey, Beth. We're talking about my cards. And see, look at this. This is the Tracy Batista. I wouldn't buy it again. I've got some deco art. I'm still in their Helping Artists program. And they have one. If they have one, it's probably pretty good. This one's way too watery. I've already been through these once, re-gluing. So I'm just going to start using, for something this large, when the Uhu is not practical because it dries so quick, use Aleene's Tacky Glue. And you can get it for $1 at Dollar Tree. A bottle, pretty nice size bottle. And for $1. So see, this is part of a jelly plate. And I don't know what, this was probably just a wipe up from something. And this is part of a jelly. And then I'll come back when these are all done and I'll round the corners and I'll punch the Rolodex holes out. Here's one of the mooches. I mean, the colors are just really pretty with that, especially since they come through to see a little better. So these are pretty distress oxides. And what I did was I just made sure that I overlapped some colors. Like I just put a color down with a stencil, then move that same stencil just a little bit or turn it, and then put the second oxide color in there so I'd get maximum oxides. You can kind of see in here where it changed. But I like that because it gives you a neutral look to your background. And this is another AliExpress, just tickets. And that one doesn't appear to be sticking either. So most of the washies I've gotten, of course, that's where they're all made. I mean, come on. We're just cutting out the middleman. This one's on a little heavier paper, more like a craft paper than a washi. Again, this little project is fun because they're small. Look at the colors, aren't they pretty? And I think I may go back today and do some more of that because they don't, you see through them into different layers, they don't mix. So I think I've got room to put some more on here. This is not bad for 2 afternoons of work, is it? And here's a little pink. That's an AliExpress. I sound like I'm getting money from AliExpress. I'm not. I mean, I think these were like 6 for $2. So they're 3-dimensional. I mean, they're like die cut. Why don't you get one you've already opened? That might be a good idea. Pinky. There we go. I've got like 6 or 7 different colors. And see, it's on this clear acetate thing. And then you just peel it off. Excuse me. Not bad manners, just good beer. And this is the sticky side. They're kind of cute. And there's not just a whole lot on each one, but if you use it all, you'll be tired of it by then anyway. And here again, look at all the neat colors shining. This is a jelly print. This is another one of the muchas. Muchas gracias. I really do like the look of the distress oxides. And what I've been doing too with stencils is just going over there and picking like 2 or 3 or 4 and bring them over here and just use the same ones over and over, because you can move them around and get different looks, but it kind of helps the decision making, here's the pink one again, process be a little bit easier. Most of the stencils I use are either Patty Tolly Parrish's or Stencil Girl. It's another, this is that El Cheapo brown paper that Robin uses. It's called masking paper. You know, as long as it's something that gets you in the studio. Right after Lena's today, I'm starting to watch or look for more lives of people that do fine art. And that's not a good word for it, but competition art, gallery art maybe. I don't know. Because that's where I cut my chops. Anyway, somebody was in there asking how you make a decision of what color you want to use and how do you decide. And I had to giggle. People don't know. And y'all are way past that point. And this was somebody that was teaching soft pastels. This is pretty crusty. But you can see, I mean, this stuff just kind of wrinkled and it kind of bubbled. So I don't recommend. Collage Page by Tracy Batista. There's a bubble right here. Now, if it was important enough to me, I could take an X-Acto knife and cut right down the middle of that air bubble and get some glue under it. Isn't that one pretty? Okay. Anybody got anything to say? Hey, Lynn. Oh, oops. See what Lynn gifted me? Well, I'm glad to know that I can entertain you that much, Sharon. I was sneaky Pete. It's mine now. Possession is 9/10 of the law. I'm going to stick it right here in my little bucket. And since I decided to do and I got my room cleaned up enough where I can have a little table beside me. My IKEA cart, my Rascog, is sitting just outside my studio door. It's got all my watercolor. So instead of using it to pile stuff high on it that falls over in the night, I decided that I would do that, and then I could have a real table that I could swap out. I need better storage for my stamps. So what I was doing yesterday was just picking 2 and using them. Not paying a whole lot of attention. I wasn't stressing. It was kind of like a blind 6, you know. And I don't have them all, and of course you know me. That means I want them. But okay, so just pull out a handful. Those will be next. Yeah, this is nice, Lynn. It's a table right by where you were sitting. I've got some stencils. Dropped one in the floor. I was cleaning up the other day for this, and I must have had 50 stencils just sitting there that had been used and not put away. They're still not put away, but they're all together. Okay, so the first 2 hickory smoke and blueprint. That'll work. We'll see what that brings. And if I don't like it, I can quit. I mean, I can change. I don't have to stick with it. Like if you start a book, you have to finish a book. Do, 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 do. Okay, where is it? There it is. I started out using the little makeup deal, and it worked me to death. You hardly get any residual color. It's so nice to just be able to jump from one to the next. So I switched to this size. It's about a 1 inch. And it makes me happy. That's all I do. See? Easy peasy. Don't stop me if you need to. You need to find a place to put that. There's a good place. Maybe. And then I take my handy dandy Master's Touch Ultra Fine Mist Sprayer. And I just spray over the top of it, put it in a pile, and go to the next one. I can either use the same stencil or not, whatever I decide to do. Got some patties out. I like using hers single. There, we got a good one. That wasn't on the card. All I'm after are just little patterns stacked on top of each other. And I'm counting on the fact that Timmy says that you can layer all the colors in the world and it still looks good. That's what I'm counting on. That didn't show up with the... Turn your stencil. Now, I don't want to cover the whole thing. I want things to show through. I don't know if this will work on this or not. Let's see. Not really. It took it, but you can't see it. Need to be careful I don't spray my laptop that's sitting right there. See how cool those are? Well, I mean, it would be if you didn't have it overlapped on the tape. This is the coolest tool. I don't remember who started this. Or who, oh, Lindsay Wyrick may have been. She was one of the first. She tested them anyway and said, oh my God, these are better than any tool I have. Robin was using a cosmetic brush, but I do think this works better. What's up and what's down? Okay, that's up because her name is on it. Lynn, I told them about you sitting here and polishing like a crazy woman the other day. Oh, and I got Patty's women out. I think these are so cool. And they are perfect size. I did. No, I didn't jelly. Oh, yeah, I may have. I did. I did. I lied. My first step was to jelly on them. And I worked on them a couple hours Sunday and a couple hours yesterday. Then I thought, that'd be a good way to ease back in gloves. Oh, I didn't tell y'all why I didn't. I mean, you know, nobody asked, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I had an issue with the oil painting that I was doing. And like I always do, I just jumped in and started rather than doing any planning. So I grabbed the paint that I had been using and, you know, took off. The problem was that I noticed was that I was having trouble getting the lights. Now, if anybody's ever oil painted, you use twice as much white as you do any other color because that's a mixing color. I could probably bring y'all a little closer. And then okay, we're good. I was getting down to the wire last week, and I thought I was finished when I left y'all on Friday. I'd paint on it, take it into the living room, which I do, and let it sit and stew. And it looked fine. Got up the next morning, and it was dark. It was, well, that's because I don't use them very much. I thought about canceling my subscription to Mary Beth, but I don't want to hurt her feelings. Isn't that silly? Anyway, work on it in the afternoon till 6 o'clock. Prop it up in the living room, wait till it dried. The next morning, we go in there, and it was just as dark. The skin tones were just as dark as they were when I started. And I could not figure it out. I thought, man, I have really lost my touch. Lost everything I've learned. And Thursday night, now the shower's on Saturday, right? Thursday night, I must have dreamed it, or my subconscious was trying to talk to me. I had picked up a tube of paint, white paint, that wasn't really designed for the kind of work I was doing. There are probably 8 different formulations of white oil paint. And this particular one was a little more transparent than what I was used to using. So there you have it. I was like Cinderella going to the ball on Friday. So that's why I didn't tape last week with you guys. I didn't invite you to the party. Is because my party bus lost its wheels. So I worked on it Friday night again until 7, put it out, let it dry. I woke up the next day and everything was headed in the right direction. So I posted a picture of her opening with holding the painting. She was really tickled. She said, "How long did it take you?" And I said, "About 60 hours. Oh. Now, not all oil painting takes that long. it's this particular style that I work in. That how cool that is. Wouldn't that make you feel better, Lynn? She decided that Encaustic looked pretty good. Lynn did. And once you see it and once you smell it, it's like, oh my God, I've been missing something. I particularly like these stencils too that have a lot of different patterns on them. So you can just move them around and get bits and pieces, especially on something small like this. And there's really no knowing when you're done. You keep going as many layers as you want. Y'all got to get some of these. I did see this 1-inch one at Dollar Tree the other day. I got them way back when they were selling on Amazon a set of 10 for $12 or something. And knowing that Lynn was coming, I opened the box that they were in and took them out of all their little plastic wrappers. And I have an old, well, not old. We manage about 52 to 75 duplex units, like houses with an adjoining wall. That's what we call them here. And I say we, and I really mean Randy. And people always leave stuff when they move out. And this is a stainless steel 3-bar towel rack that fits over the door. And so I got some stainless steel hooks, again, from AliExpress, and cut soda bottle. Well, actually, it's my club soda or my tonic. Cut the tops off of them, left that much, and poked a hole in them. And they hang and rest up against the door. And I put all my odd brushes and utensils and stuff like that in there. So anyway, I moved them over there. I'm telling you, I got serious. And Lynn's been here before, so I didn't clean it near as good as I would if one of y'all were coming. Sorry, Lynn. See how cool those are? They're just awesome. Now look, Lynn, these are the oxide sprays. Okay, I think it's time to switch colors. Now we have weathered wood and bundled sage. The people one, I'll give you a number. I mean, you can find it easy enough on iStencils. Maybe, baby. 6x6 PTP 089, the boys. I wonder if I have the girls. I wonder what makes them a boy. Okay, here we go. New color. I'm going to have a neat drop paper. Do, 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 do. Thanks, Lynn. And I've got some of Patty's stamps too. I'll be doing some stamping on a stage here. I missed the stamp craze, so I just kind of stuck with the small size. But they're cool. It should work since you're a moderator. These really aren't that far apart. Well, hello. Aren't far enough apart, but that's okay. And I want them to overlap, even though you can't really tell what it is, because I want them to oxidize. And I don't know if that's necessary or not. Hey, Jill, you want to? I'll take Lynn buys them for $10. What do you say? Anyway, do you have to make sure that they're together to get a... I'm going to put this one back to that one and get this one out for that one. Let's see what happens. Look at that color. Isn't that pretty? I think that's the Stapaccio. No, it's not this color. I just figured out these lids fit underneath them so you don't lose them. I'll mix them up. It's a cute little stencil. If I get too much color on one, I can always put a white gesso wash over it. I love to be an enabler, especially since I'm not buying anything. But like Lynn said yesterday, it's ridiculous to buy this stuff if you're not going to use it. I've got enough stuff. I think every craft store in the world could close and I would still have enough. Hi, Sharon. Oh, Gilly, that's funny. I could get more of the color off if I wanted to, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Now, when I have played with these on the backgrounds, I did a bunch of backgrounds with them, and then I tried to wipe them back. I couldn't get them to wipe back. Ooh, that's pretty on there. And I know they're supposed to be water soluble, but okay, we have a few more, and then I'm going to go get some more stencils. Look at that turquoise. Isn't that pretty? With the rose gold. Oh, over that weekend? Ooh, yeah, life is too short. Says she had a hairball. Little reminder that Beth will be on tonight with Colleen. I don't know who else, maybe Lena. And I think they're working on the America thing again. I have mine, but I has not worked in it very much. It's hard at night. I stayed over one night last week, week before. Randy and I like to watch the news, and that's our evening thing that we do. So, I mean, you know, we just sit down, it's quiet, and so I do all my arting during the day. Yeah, I feel shopping carts pretty good myself. Oops. That disturbs me. These are called the boys. I wonder if I have the girls. I love this little stencil. Do I need to be a member of Stencil Club? No. There's two more. What say we do them together? Didn't have to move the stencil. See these little hooks? See, those are new. I hadn't even put hooks on them yet. See that hook? Real cheap. Get them on Amazon. I've got them in my store. They're sticky, and they're perfect for stencils, and then you can just hang them. Don't give me a plastic sleeve to put stencils in, please. Because I won't do it. Drink water. And I'm going to dry them a little bit. See, I just hate the way that bubbled. Look at that. I mean, if this is collage glue, it's not worth it. Tracy Bautista's Collage Podge. I went through a Tracy Bautista kick a couple years ago. And she was more about talking about herself than teaching. Lynn, mine is a 6x6. Is that the same for the girls? I think they're the same stencil, they're just smaller. Save your money. Hobby Lobby carries it. Yeah, there's two different kinds. I'm not real sure what they are right this minute. But they only had the small bottle, so I needed the large bottle, and then I haven't used either one of them. But you won't find a pair of Jimmy Choo Choos in here. We get our kicks with $10 and $20 stuff. This satisfies my gluing and pasting urges. I've got to order my oohoos, Joycey. I try not to use my cards too much because I may have to use them for groceries. Look how pretty that is. Those colors are so soft and muted. If Robin's lurking, hi Robin. You're using a whole lot. I mean, you're doing that kind of gluing work a whole lot more than I am. Mine, it's been over a year since I got mine. And these are my last 3, I think, and they're each going down. Yeah, I discovered this last night. It's a nice way to... Nice way to help them dry a little bit. Thank you, Lynn. These are the best. Joycey is testing them to see if the value is there. The monetary, we did the math, but I decided that they were, they're highly recommended. Robin is a bookmaker, and my journals that I used them in are flat. I love it. And when I compared the cost, if you compare big stick to big stick, this is 1.4 ounces. They're all about the same price. So why not use the one that's archival? It's my story. Okay, I'm going to go put these up, and I will be right back. I don't have far to go. Now I'm in the Encaustic studio. These are so small, I need smaller holes and openings. That might be a good one. Okay. I also worked on little boy's portrait. They went to Missouri Maps. I hooked my apron to my, there. Y'all still there? Scary. I don't want to buy a new laptop. Throw them on the floor. I forgot what I was saying. I don't use matte medium unless, well, yeah, unless you're doing fabric or heavier paper. And about my favorite matte medium is Walmart's. Okay. Rowan, thank you. Yes, I worked on 3. I'm going to turn those over, and most of them are on the jelly print side. So I think we will do a little jelly on that side. Put that up for now. See, I'm trying. Kimberly was here. She'd be giving me high fives. Okay, so stick to transparent. Doesn't really matter. This is Martha Stewart metallic champagne. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like these Timmy things with the little prongs. You got to make too sure that you get them right side up. Okay, Gilly. Glad you were here. Yeah, you can just barely see it, but that's okay. That's what you want. Okay, now pull it off. I won't get enough off the back because this is thin. Probably be better on a darker card. So let's put that one in the bucket. And let's try something else. This one is Rose Chrome. I think I need to move y'all back up a little bit. No, it looks like it slipped. The camera, that is. If I get too much, I roll it off on another jelly plate up here to my right. I've got them sitting on my watercolor boxes. That's what you want. I remember when I was growing up, my mother and dad and us spent one night a week during the week with my grandma and grandpa, dad's mom and dad. And now we can barely make it 30 miles across town to see mine. Let's get something with some color. And these are the color shifts, which I love. They add color, but they're still transparent. And that one was blue violet flash. Uh-oh. I'm still live on StreamYard, but not here. I'm going to close mine. I've got the dreaded wheel. 2 watching. Why does it say 2? Okay, it's back. Okay. I watch on my iPad through YouTube, so I know when we're spinning. Ooh, look how pretty that is. Yeah, just make sure that everybody knows that when you're in StreamYard, YouTube picks when it comes back, YouTube picks up on the same stream. If you're going direct through YouTube and something happens, you have to start a new stream, which is a pain in the butt. Okay. Okay. See, I think I ran everybody off last 2 weeks with oil painting. Pretty. But that's okay, because there are people out there in the oil world too. Kind of hard having a foot in crafts and or painting, I should say. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Uh-oh, there's 2 there. We'll put it on that side. Well, I'm thankful for everybody that is here. Beautiful color with that. And if I do encaustic and oil next, I still want to do soft pastel with you guys. You will enjoy it, I promise. Okay, blue flash goes up. This is Frosted Glass by Folk Art, and I'm not crazy about it, but it's still a sheer acrylic. It's got a lot of binder, I think. Oh! And there's the beauty of having another plate. See how icky it is? It's just... Can't even really see it. This is the green right here. But that's okay. It's all okay. I think this appeals to me. Like I said, it's just kind of satisfying to just put stuff down without any real concern about what it is or where it goes. I'm getting some crusties. I love how pretty that card is. And we're not going to worry anymore about the... Oh, wait, I've got some over here. Then you can just brayer it over there and get it off. And then when you do a pickup over there, start using it. And you got all that goody stuff. Some matcha. I had the best enchiladas at the shower the other day. And I ended up scoring what was left over to bring home for Saturday night when Randy was gone. Yeah, that's true. I do too, Lynn. I love that. I tried to give Lynn a hunk of red rubber gasket material. Now you can see a little bit of the green. It just doesn't really have a whole lot of bang for the buck. So we'll put it back over here. We'll just leave it and see what that does. See, look. Oh, that's two. Just be sure you get the thicker one. I think it's 3/16. I want to try woodblock carving. I mean, talk about doing something unnecessary. I'm just drawn to everything. Look at this good grunge. Everything Asian. I always have been before I met Randy. As long as your plate is still sticky, you can pick up little bits. Okie dokie. This coral is pretty. Except this is red flash, but it's coral. Well, that's why I'm in my chair so much, is because BJ loves to be in my lap, and I will not wake him up to put him down. So it's a good excuse to get food brought. When I was out the other day, y'all will be proud of me. I really had to call a nature, but I thought I'm going right by Walmart. I can stop, because if you go home first, you will not get out again. I picked up all that down in there, which isn't necessary, but oh well. And I was going in to see if I could replenish some of my color shifts. Oh, and that call of nature remark isn't nasty. It's just because of my hairball. We celebrate poopies around here. They didn't have any. They hardly had any. I can get them at Hobby Lobby in the bigger jars. Somebody said something about unicorn something poop. Maybe it was poop. some kind of a not dimensional, but what am I trying to say? Incandescent color shift that was a rainbow. I mean, I live right here with home office. Oh, I wasn't really expecting that. Yeah, and when Randy brings me my supper on a tray and BJ's in my lap, he looks up like, don't even let it touch me. Good. Of course, they rule our world. They had fun at the duck camp Friday and Saturday. Came home a day early. That color's not ringing my bell today. This is Blue Flag. It's not new. I'll pick some more stencils. Does your mom ever hold her in her lap, Lynn? Or does the poor little baby get locked up in your bedroom all day? Cool. Not so much. They're fun to spoil because they're so grateful. Getting some good grunge up there. I might need to switch plates. Our BJ cried for 3 weeks when his daddy died. Let's get one of these. Look at that color. Ooh-wee. Da, 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 da. There's a water. This is again is something they experimented with. They meaning folk art. Whoa, it's got that same kind of strange. See, it's kind of clumpy. Not sure if it's supposed to do that or not. So let's put several on here. put a piece of plain paper over it. It's easier. I think I'll borrow it and get some on this little piece I picked up out of the floor. Not much. A little bit. Not much at all. Dang. I'm going to use the same 3 cards over. Goose poop's green. You silly girl. I got a little bit. A little bit. Looks kind of, yeah. Ooh, look at what we pulled up right there. That's cool. Okay. I don't like that one. I'm not going to use it anymore. Oh, hell, that's that frosted glass again. Let me look over here. Ooh, I forgot to tell y'all my 292 colors are coming in. I'll get out. Pull out the big guns. $282 colors of eyeshadow. Because it will be so much easier to use on jelly plating or something like that. It must be drying because I've got a fan on in here. Not much. I think that may be what it is. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. I used to put my jelly plate paint on way too thick back in the beginning. And I just love this. Nothing again. Thin method. Just a little. I'll be darned. Oh well, we'll have some fun. This is quinacridone nickel azo gold. These are both golden. Now hurry. Yeah, and if anybody's afraid of AliExpress, just use a credit card you don't use for anything else. I have never, I mean, they are on top of their customer service. Sometimes you get your stuff in less than a week. A lot of times it's free shipping. Doesn't matter if it's $2, it's free shipping. Damn. What is going on here? That's going to be a good plate. Well, you can't hate the stuff they came from, or you'd be going around naked. All we're doing is cutting out the middleman. And Amazon has a lot of the same stuff. A lot of those manufacturers have Amazon stores. Plate must really be dry. Let's put just a little bit of an opaque. This is a Ceramcoat buttercream. Put it on real thin. It'll dry up again. You know, that's not a good idea, all that stuff that I put on there. Is going to be hidden. Got to get this plate wet. All your shampoos and your Vaselines, your health and beauty aids, almost all of those are made in China. And they have strict quality control rules. That's weird. I broke my plate. There's some cool stuff on there. Let's put a little bit of, let's turn the fan away. A little bit of clear gesso. No wonder the lid wouldn't shut down. Look at the size of that booger. A little bit more. I also moved the fan so it wasn't flying directly. Yeah, you're right, Lynn. I'm not a jelly expert by any stretch of the imagination. And I bet you're going to blow it, make us all feel shamed when you do it. Nope. Okay, let's try the cream again. God, it's a beautiful pattern on there. I should have taken a picture of it right then before I covered it. Now, if that's not enough, I'm retiring. That's not even worth messing with. Now, underneath this pattern is probably a solid opaque. Get some white on white. I know that's going to do the same thing. I don't want to. I'm going off old memory and observation. I was going to, but that was a piece of deli paper that was soaking it up pretty good. I mean, the paper was getting wet. If y'all ever do inkjet prints that you don't care for or you're not going to use, put them in a stack and spray them, get them wet. And that's what this was on the other side of this print. It bleeds in real pretty colors. Okay, we're getting some full action now. Oh my God. Look at that print. That is a beauty. I have to take a picture of that before I lose it. Get paint on my thumb and my thumbprint won't work. That's pretty, pretty, pretty. Look. That's NASA. NASA printer. Wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on, Snoopy. That's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right. Now, guess I go back. I'm not going to get the crusty stuff off on the cards without covering up everything I've already got on there. I'm not, right? Hey, Barbara. Anybody got any ideas? I don't want to cover up all of my background work on these. So just put this plate down and save it for something else. Yeah, collage them. I think I'm just going to put that plate up. Get another one. That's too much good stuff. That's got some on it too. Let's see what else we got over here. We got orange and turquoise. Somebody gave me a new tool, but it's over there. Look at this. I didn't think I would ever use this much. We're going to get something now. Let's see, this will take 2, I bet you, close to it. Yeah, but I'm working on my GeliDexes. God, that's a beautiful print. A little too much paint, which means if I'm quick, I forgot which side it was on. Oh gosh, you cracked me up. Okay, where are we now? Okay, we're up here. Yeah, I am focused. Focus, Buffus. Yeah, not much. I want a little bit of white on my index cards. So I can do that with a stencil. A little bit right up here. All right, I'm gonna post it. Where's my black flash? I don't see it. There it is. Sorry. Y'all are laughing at me, I can tell. Got a little, but that does make a difference. Put a little dark in these. Doesn't have to be much. Okay. I know, I'm so boring. Y'all see me oil paint. I can sit there for 3 days. And then sometimes I can't. Well, that just about covered everything up, Miss Vicki. I think it may be about time for me to quit. And then come back maybe tomorrow with some India ink and stuff. I mean, I could do a little bit of that now. Y'all notice I'm putting everything up. Beth will be on here, guys. These that I did first are almost dry. I want to do one more thing and then y'all go to bed. I did. Bye, gal. Now this is going to be just real short and sweet. I guess I'll put them back. It's got to be a clean plate. This one's just kind of clean. The smaller one. And what happens is the powder adheres to the clean plate. And it's probably not light enough to really show. I'm going to use clear gesso because I don't want to have an opaque layer. See, the pattern stays. Nope, didn't pick up. One thing about it. And that's not going to show up because it's white on white. This is the end of my day. Now that's a pickup. Oh, not enough. Not enough white. You can see a little bit of it if I had reversed it. I gotta do this again. Now granted, these are not as strong color as pan pastels, but they're a whole lot easier to use on my desk. And you can now we put white over it. And it will not move. Rosemary and I played with pan pastels and jelly plate all one afternoon. Got some really cool stuff once you remember what the process is. Your card. Well, shoot. You see some of it in here, but it wasn't a clean plate. Got some good junk though. I'll take it. The thing about the pan pastel like that is that it stays on your plate. You can get sometimes 3 or 4 pulls. Not a clean plate. But it does make a good base. As long as your plate is sticky, you can still pick it up. So that made a pretty good print. Wasn't what I was looking for, but ain't that cool? Too cool for school. Okay, y'all get back to dinner. Go to bed. Don't bother me again tonight. I'm done. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a nice print. Okay. Any questions? Not sure if I can answer them, but Beth can, or somebody can. All right, guys. Gonna leave you now.